What is up guys, Random Plays here, and welcome back to another video for the Ryzen 3 2200G and RX 580 build. Now in today's video, as you just saw in the beginning of that clip, I did indeed remove one 8GB RAM stick, which now leaves me with 8GB of RAM in total. So in today's video, I am going to be benchmarking PUBG with only 8GB of RAM instead of the usual 16GB of RAM. And this video was requested by Crazy. So I want to say thank you so much, Crazy. I really appreciate your request. And he said if I could do a PUBG video with only 8GB of RAM. And you know, I told him that was a really great idea. I've never actually thought about doing that ever. And so yeah, here I am. I took off a 8GB RAM stick, which leaves me with 8GB of RAM in total, and I am going to be benchmarking PUBG. So before we jump into the FPS, I do want to point out a couple of things. And the first thing I want to point out is that if you look at your top left corner of the screen, you will be able to see the metrics such as the FPS counter, the temperatures, and the usage. But when you're looking at the FPS counter and the metrics, please keep in mind that I am recording, and the recording will impact the FPS. The second thing I want to mention is that the FPS does depend on what map you're playing. So there's this one really small map in PUBG that performs significantly well compared to the other 3 large maps. So yeah, please keep that in mind. So now that we have that out of the way, let's move on with the benchmark. So here in the background, I am playing in very low settings, and I'll actually show you a picture of my settings right now. And as you can see, I do have everything at very low. So let's jump into the FPS. So in very low settings, the highest FPS was a 438, the average FPS was a 75, and the lowest FPS was a 0. So we could probably already tell that the game is horribly optimized. So I did actually hit 0 FPS in game. So my game completely froze for like a couple seconds, like 2 seconds, and then I went back to normal. But yeah, still the game is pretty horribly optimized, but it is actually still very playable. So as you just saw, I now have my settings at ultra settings. So let's jump into the FPS for ultra settings. So like I said, in ultra settings, the highest FPS was a 103, the average FPS was a 54, and the lowest FPS was a 3. So once again, PUBG is actually pretty playable with only 8GB of RAM. It actually surprised me. It did actually surprise me. If I'm being honest, I really didn't think it was gonna make it, but evidently it did pretty well. The game is absolutely playable, although it would actually go drop really low to like 0 FPS and 3 FPS. For the most part, it is actually pretty playable. So if you guys want to see how this game performs with 16GB of RAM, then please let me know in the comments below, and I will indeed make a video on that. And I want to say thank you so much, Crazy, once again. I truly do appreciate your request. Very appreciated. And if you guys want to see any other game or want to see me benchmark any other game, then please feel free to leave it down in the comments, and I promise I will make a video on that. And yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, I'd appreciate a like. consider subscribing because I will be making more video like these in the near future. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.